All right, shalom. This is Chanak Sa'anba Yasha'Allah from the Lions Den of Yasha'Allah camp. First and foremost, I'd like to say Kahalayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakah Kadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, this is Luke chapter 6, verse 24. It says, "But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets." All right. And the point is what? But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. And I'm bringing this scripture out to really talk about doing a lesson on this song that Rick Ross and Drake got called "Money in the Grave." The whole Egypt Pharaoh spirit. All right. I had it to where it was gonna show me. All right. So now it says, I'm gonna read some of the lyrics. It says, "I got Lil Max with me. He the wave. It's a big gap between us in the game. In the next life, I'm trying to stay paid. When I die, I put my money in the grave." All right. And that's wicked, man. You know, we're supposed to store riches in heaven, you know, not riches on earth, you know. So that's the whole Pharaoh Egypt spirit, you know, like how the pharaohs used to when they would be buried, they would sacrifice people, right? They would sacrifice people and sacrifice their servants and mummify them to be buried with them, for them to be their servants in the afterlife, and they would bury all their riches and stuff with them for their be there in the afterlife. And that's just a carnal way of thinking, man. But we're supposed to store riches in heaven by doing this work. And you know, individuals like Drake and Rick Ross, they're not gonna do the work. So that's why they believe in getting everything. That's why they have that yellow spirit. All right. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 20. It says, "But lay up for yourselves treasure." No, start at 19. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal." And so, you know, you have tomb raiders that rob tombs and get the riches of the pharaohs, you know. so that's just vanity and vexation of spirit for you to sit there and think that you're gonna have those treasures and stuff when you come back. That stuff is gonna be given to somebody else, you know. And the thing about it is, not only that, you see the Dow plunged like another 600 to 800 points, you know, this week. And the thing about it is, okay, hypothetically speaking, just playing the dumb game. If you were to be buried with all your money, what happens when you come out of the grave and they're using cryptocurrency and the money's not worth anything? So therefore you buried it for nothing. And that's just a wicked mentality, a wicked way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? But the scriptures say, "Woe unto them that are rich, for they have received their consolation." And you know, and a lot of people, a lot of Jakes have that spirit. All that money you work for, so-called money, is nothing. It doesn't work. It doesn't amount to anything. So really, the only thing that amounts to anything is doing the work, man. Matter of fact, let me go back to it. Let me go back to Matthew's real quick. Real quick. Chapter 6. All right. So Matthew chapter 6, verse 19, it says, "Lay up not for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth or rust doeth corrupt, doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal nor steal. All right, even though we're in the house of the thief, which is America, all right, he can't take away our riches that we're storing in heaven. And these individuals like Drake and Rick Ross, they're giving their riches away. In fact, let me get it. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. But if you don't have the understanding of these scriptures, you wouldn't understand where your riches come from. All right, you got a bank account in the heavens waiting, that you can invest in, put money to the side in, spiritual money. All right, just like how the apostles would say, this is a spiritual stock exchange, and and not only that, by you, but those riches won't be buried with you, but they will be there waiting on you when you get your new body. All right, when you go into the, or if you have to go into the spiritual realm to be with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? Even if you have the 2/3, you still get a little something. You still got a little bank account. You just have to be born into the kingdom, you know. Slock you, hold on. Works. Looking for a scripture real quick. Shall follow you. All right, so let me read this real quick. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. And those fake Jews are the ones that are really running the whole music industry, the whole entertainment industry at that. All right, so that's where going back to and so being on dealing with this spiritual stock exchange, taking your talents and going out and try to receive more talents and stacking up spiritual funds. All right, that's what follows you, because this carnal riches will not follow you, but your works of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai will follow you, man. This is Revelation chapter 14. 14 and this is Revelation chapter 14, verse 13. It says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord Yahweh Shai, from henceforth, yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. All right, so if you die in this truth, all right, those riches that you stored up in heaven shall follow you, man. You'll be able to you can't take Esau's riches with you, because what the scripture say, render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, So our works follow us, man, if we're doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, back to Matthew chapter 6, verse 20. It says, but lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. All right? There will your heart, meaning your mind. So your mind is always going to be in the grave, man, to having that mentality. But if you have the mentality of storing up riches in heaven, your mind is going to be always in a heavenly place. All right? Lust for riches destroyed the mind, man. All right? There'd be many people that have gone mad for the lust of riches, all right? This is Sirach chapter 31, verse 1. It says, watching for riches consumeth the flesh, and the care of them driveth away sleep. Watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore deceit breaketh sleep. The rich have great labor in gathering riches together, and when he rested, he is filled with his delicacies. All right, the poor laboreth in his poor estate. When he leveleth off, he is still needy. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. All right. Gold hath been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it. Every fool shall be taken therewith. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, and have not gone after gold. And those riches are the ones that are storing up riches, and those are the ones storing up riches in heaven. You know? So blessed are the ones that are rich, that is found without blemish, and have not gone after gold. All right, so what are they going after? They're going after the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right. Back in Matthew chapter 6, verse 20, it says, "But lay up for yourselves rich treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." All right, so your mind is going to be constantly trying to grind and get more money, you know, and that's just it. It says, "For the watching of riches consumeth the flesh," man. So you're ripping yourself apart, man. But watching for these prophecies and doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that brings you together. That makes you whole. Because the scriptures say, whether rich or poor, if you have a good heart towards the Lord. Well, let me get it. All right, this is Sirach chapter 26, verse 4. It says, "Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart towards the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance." All right, so nobody's not saying if you rich, you wicked, you know, but you got to have that balance, because riches lift up your heart, lift up your mind. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand how to be humble. And how do you stay humble? Staying in this truth. All right, Sirach 40 and 26, it says, "Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Lord is above them both. There is no want in the fear of the Lord, and it needeth not to seek help." All right, and that's just plain and simple right there, man. Because you know, like focuses on being healthy, well, not healthy, but wealthy in this realm, in this age, in this time period, man, is really vanity, man. I mean, we got to work to eat. You know what I'm saying? I know Jake is Jake. Jake like nice things, and that's just it. That's just Jake. You know, but don't set your heart, your mind always on wanting those things, man. You know, because it's vanity. This is Haggai chapter 1 verse 6. It said, "Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it in a bag, put it into a bag with holes." You know, and a hole is a ditch that you dig in, your pit that you digging yourself into, trying to, you know what I'm saying, keep up with them riches, man. All right, let me get Proverbs 23 and 5. It says, no, 23 and 4. Wait. 23 and 3. It says, "Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not?" Because what money is worth nothing, and you got your eyes set upon it. All right. It says, "For riches certainly make themselves wings; they fly away as an eagle towards heaven." All right, and that's what's happened. That's what's going to happen with the money system. You see the economy crash, and America's going down, the dollar's going down, and that's just it. So you shouldn't set your mind upon that, man. You know. All right. Matter of fact, because if you set your mind upon money all the time, man, that's just wickedness. All right, this is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9. It says, no. Verse 7. Oh, this is a good one. All right. Start at 5. It says, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about question. 4. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 4 says, He is proud, knowing nothing, but doth about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railing, evil surmising, perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds. And that's when, if you have your mind on riches all the time, that's corruption unto you. And destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. So I know whoever Drake worship, that he feels like he's a man of that God because of all the money that he has. All right, but he is a man of that God. His God, his father, the devil. All right. It says, from such withdraw thyself, or it's like it says, destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. But godliness with contentment is great gain. All right. So be like Job, wanting nothing, a plain just man. All right. It says, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is a certain we can carry nothing out. So that song being made like that is straight vanity. All right. It's wicked. It says, and having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptations and a snare. That money becomes a snare unto them. And unto many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. All right? For the love of money is the root of all evil. Not the money itself, but it's the love for it. The lust and love for it is the root of all evil. It says, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And that's just it. They're piercing themselves through with many sorrows, man. You know? So they matter of fact, let me pull up this Wikipedia thing that I had going on reading. It says ancient Egyptian funeral practices. It says the ancient Egyptians had an elaborate set of funerary practices that they believed were necessary to ensure their immortality after death. But that's not how, according to the scripture, that's not how you put on immortality. All right? Let me get 2 Ezra chapter 2. Chapter 44, it says, so I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms. So you got to confess the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai to claim immortality. And you have to be chosen by Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai to claim immortality. All right, not by getting riches on this earth and burying it with you. All right. It says the ancient Egyptian burial process evolved over time as old customs were discarded and new ones adopted. It says, but several important elements of the process persisted. All right. Although specific details changed over time, the preparation of the body, the magic rituals, witchcraft, and grave goods that's storing the money, putting their money in the grave, were all essential parts of a proper Egyptian funeral. There were many different gods to prepare for. The ancient Egyptians believed that each god was separately judged. There's only one judge, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, the deceased before he could enter into the afterlife. All right, but that's not going according to the scriptures. All right, so let me get 1 Corinthians. Thank you, 1 Corinthians. Slocky, bear with me. Alright, let's, I guess, 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10, it says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shai, that everyone may receive the things that is done in his body, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad." So that's who we appear for, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's the only true judge, and that judgment was passed down from Yahweh unto him. Okay, there's not no many gods and all this other stuff. You know, all this other stuff that these Egyptians follow. All right. Let me go down a little further. It says, although no writing survives from the pre-dynastic Egypt, scholars believe that the importance of a physical body and its preservation originated there. This would explain why people of that time did not follow the common practice of cremation, but rather buried the dead. So also believe that they have feared the body would rise again if mistreated after death. All right, so man, this whole write up is crazy, man. All right, so let me keep going. Let me jump down. It says early bodies were buried in simple, shallow, oval pits with a few burial goods. Sometimes multiple people and animals were placed in the same grave. Over time, graves became more complex, with the body placed in a wicker basket, then later in a wooden terracotta coffin. The latest tombs Egyptians made were sarcophagi, whatever that is. These graves contain burial goods like jewelry, food, games, and sharpened splint. This demonstrates that the ancient period had a sense of the afterlife, though archaeological evidence may show that average person had little chance of getting into it. This may be because admission required that the deceased must be able to serve a purpose there. The pharaoh was allowed in because of his role in life, and others needed to have some role. And we have to have a role. The role is doing this work. But the scripture say all Israel shall be saved, man. So this whole idea of when I die, bury my money, put my money in the grave type philosophy goes probably further back than ancient Egypt. Might even go back to Babylon. Who knows? But the thing about it is that's not the spirit that we're supposed to be in. But 2/3 of our people are in that spirit. That's why they try to save up money in the bank account and all, make up wills. I mean, I understand making up a will. You know what I'm saying? Dispersing the money out if you die to people that you feel like deserve it. But having that's more. I feel like that's more of a moral thing to do than talking about burying my money with me in the grave. That makes no sense, man. That's stupid and wicked. All right, just want to do a quick lesson, just touching on that song, man, and the wickedness that our people like to follow. With that being said, I'd like to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakakadash month. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.